Jem is my name, no one else is the same. Jem is my name. Jem.
The Jem and the Holograms television show from 30-some years ago. It didn't end so much as it stopped, right? Season 3 was an abbreviated 12 or so episodes. And while the finale did feel like an end, and kudos to the show for doing that, I did, at the time I reviewed it, was really surprised that they spent the episode resolving an issue that probably no one thought about. They're like, are we going to put a bow on the relationship between Rio and Jerica, or are we going to finalize the whole hologram secret, or are we going to do anything with Riot, or maybe the relationship between Pizzazz and her dad? No, we're going to worry about Bonnie's father. Okay. It at least brought everyone together for a finale. So it didn't leave you hanging, but this, Dimensions, is the last arc of the Jem and the Holograms comic. And where we've left off, where the story is Jerica reveals the secret to Rio, who doesn't quite kick a plant, but is not happy that she lied to him, and they break up. They're on the outs. They might get back together, but they're not together anymore. The Stingers are still kind of there. The Misfits are misfitting. I mean, and then we go to an alternate dimension where everyone was killed because the hologram secret was spilled, and then they fixed the world through the power of music, and they went back home, and now Jerica and Rio are still on the outs, and but the Misfits know the secret, and which is killing them because they know that revealing it could cause their own deaths. In the other dimension, we have a rogue Pizzazz and an Eric evil guy running around. So where is the story gonna go from here? I fear nowhere. Because this last arc appears to be an anthology of one-shot stories that take place throughout the continuity. Our first issue here has 2 short stories, one of which is set before the events of JEM Infinite, which was the dimension-hopping thing. Still kind of weird that the dimension-hopping thing was called Infinite, and then Dimensions is the name of the next book, but whatever. I think I brought that up already. And the other one takes place after the events of JEM Infinite. So we've got coming up, we have before the events of JEM Infinite, before Shayna goes on her fashion internship in JEM 21. This one doesn't seem to matter. This is set during the Misfits arc. This is set before JEM Infinite and set early in the Misfits arc. There is a final issue, an epilogue, which I think takes place like 20 years later. So that at least will probably sum everything up. But I'll get to actually what this is, review it on its own merits, let you know what I think of what they actually did rather than what I was expecting or what I wanted. But before I get there, I am admittedly a little bummed out that it feels like this story is not going to have a proper conclusion. It's not going anywhere. It's just stopping. We're going to have some fun little one-shots, and then we're done. We'll have an epilogue, and which is only I think it's 22 pages. It's one issue. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. So the first issue has Sophie Campbell returning as an artist. She also wrote this, and Victoria Robato's coloring. So the setup here is the Misfits are going on tour, so Pizzazz makes Clash cat sit Mad Mardigan. But Clash is going skiing. She had a ski trip, so she takes the kitty skiing and just stuffs her down the front of her jacket. She really wanted to go with Blaze, but Blaze is in the Misfits now, so she can't. So she got her friend Misty. Was it Misty? I think it's Misty. I don't know. It's in there somewhere. To go with her. Well, while she and Misty and Mad Mardigan are hitting the slopes, who's there but Video? Who I honestly don't remember if she's popped up in the comic run at all. I don't remember. I gave it a good think, and I'm like, yeah, I don't remember. But she has two lackeys, Graphics, and Shade. And they are big fans of JEM and the Holograms, so they're going to steal Mad Mardigan and then try to, I don't know, kill Clash and Misty. They're just bullies and picking a fight because they're fans of the Holograms and not the Misfits, and I'm like, was that Video's character from the show? Was she the polar opposite of Clash? I don't think she was. I mean, you can change the character, that's fine, but so anyway, there's some weird stuff about how Clash is musing that she wanted to ski with Blaze, but so she had to replace her with Misty, but she phrases it like she has a line in here. It's like, yeah. Sometimes I wish Blaze would get fired, or maybe I should just dump her. Are you guys dating? I mean, I got the impression that Clash and Blaze were an item at one point, but are not any longer, and are just close friends now. Okay. So now we have a really confusing action scene where Video and her minions steal the cat and are rushing down the slopes, and then Video both trips Clash and she vaults off of a tree limb, and then she somersaults over Graphics, and Video has disappeared, and then the cat flies backwards for some reason into Misty's arms, and then Video comes out of nowhere and grabs the cat, and then Misty runs into a tree. Just a very confusing set of panels. And then, the hell is her name? Shade takes out a gadget that she has, and she shoots it at the slopes, which causes an avalanche, which buries Misty and Clash. And she name drops Tech Rat. I guess they know each other. That's just a thing she has. And then I guess Blaze just blew off the Misfits tour because she hang glides in. And at this point, I'm like, this is a dream sequence, right? She's going to wake up or so. No. So Blaze drops in. Yeah, okay, yeah, it is Misty. That's her name. And then they go confront the Video and her friends in a hot tub. And they say, give the kitty back. And Shade shoots her little avalanche doohickey at Blaze. And Blaze yells at her really loud, which blows up her doohickey. Again, this is apparently not a dream sequence. It's just something she can do. So they give the cat back, and Misty hits Graphics with a snowball, and And then what's her face? Clash and Blaze smooch. So I guess they are together still again. I mean, it's cute, but what? This reads like fan fiction. Because the characters just kind of come out of nowhere. The relationships and characterizations seem a little bit different. It's unbelievable in a way that the series hasn't been up till now. I mean, we're dealing with holograms and stuff, but it's just weird that Blaze hang glides in when she should be on tour to go on a ski trip, and that they're dating now, and she has a Black Canary's sonic scream. Okay. So, meanwhile, this next one takes place, new artist, takes place after the dimension hopping thing. They were apparently on tour. They go home. Jerrica is very tired, but all the girls want to play a game. Or at least Kimber does. So they play D&D, and they make Jerrica DM, which is kind of mean because she's tired and has a lot of work to do. And that's the hardest job of a D&D campaign. That is the most difficult, most stressful. I mean, unless you have a campaign prepared or you're following a script from a module or something like that, you can't just, hey, immediately DM. This takes prep. This is something I have to set up. So the girls all set up with the help of Synergy, who's doing some Synergy stuff. They make characters, and I have to say that Ginger Happenstance is a pretty good character name. But Jerrica freaks out because all the girls aren't really paying attention to the campaign. They're just like, hey, we should order pizza, and Kimber invites Stormer over, and she snaps and basically summons a red dragon. A red dragon appears and does 10,000 damage and kills you all. We're done. And yeah, I've been in those situations where you're DMing and the players are just not paying attention. They just don't seem to be actually in the mood for following a campaign, which, is fine. Sometimes you're not in the mood, but when you've prepped this thing, you spent 6 hours prepping the goddamn thing, it's really annoying. So it ends with Synergy DMing, I guess. Moral of that story is don't piss off the DM, because the ground will open up and swallow you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, yeah, don't mistreat the Dungeon Master. I mean, as standalone little one-shots, they are very, particularly first one, they are very fan comic-y. But I'm trying really hard to push aside the fact that this comic run is just probably not going to have a satisfying ending. The story didn't actually go anywhere or resolve much. Like, I remember I was saying something about, it's like, I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. Probably nowhere, and I find that disappointing, but I'm going to try and set that aside and judge these on their own merits. And I must say, on the front of this comic, it's really interesting seeing Kimber with flesh tone instead of being stark white. So these two are, I mean, they're kind of cute. So yeah, gonna go read the next two.